it's very good. We're joined now by the show's director and producer, Ben Stiller, alongside some of the stars of the series, Adam Scott, Tramell Tillman and Britt Lower. Good morning to you
Morning,
guys.
everybody.
Good morning. Now, we've been watching... Yeah.
Can you just show them your notes?
So this is like my history A-level.
Oh, my goodness.
That I had to write in pink pen.
Love that.
Because you've got to concentrate.
Yeah.
You're such a good student.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, she gets a bit more grief than good student usually from me, Adam, to be fair.
Good luck on the test.
Oh, no, don't say that. You can't say that after I've watched the show. What's going to happen to me otherwise? Is it going to be a...
Well, you won't remember it.
More importantly...
OK, so what can you tell... Because we could try and explain it, but A, we wouldn't do it justice, and B, we might give away too many spoilers. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, how would you describe it?
I mean, it's interesting. It's a show about a guy who decides to undergo this procedure where he has a chip put in his head where when he goes to work, he goes down an elevator, he doesn't remember anything about his life on the outside. Then when he leaves work, he doesn't remember what happened at work on the inside. And Adam plays the main character who's going through the loss of his wife and has decided to...
Yeah, so I severed to try and get away from the grief that I'm experiencing in the outside world.
Yes.
Yeah, and the company is a big sort of biotech company. We don't quite know what they do, and they have a very strong sort of culture. It's almost a religious sort of ideology at the company.
Yeah, it's very dark in places too. The goats are featured too. Can you tell me, like, and what does the company actually do?
These are all great questions. And I look forward to
Season
wondering
3.
about the answers. No, I mean, there are goats at some point that show up. There are lots of... I mean, it's really, to me, the show, when I first read the pilot of it, it was almost like a workplace comedy, like The Office or Parks and Rec. It had that vibe, but if the people who were working didn't know who they were, what they were doing, or why they were there.
Right, because I was going to say, it's not a laugh a minute. I mean, when you say comedy, it's one of those things, Adam, and your character particularly as the lead, watching him go through the trauma of grief and then the severance process, but then everything, as Kat was saying earlier, unravelling a little bit. I mean, what sort of challenge is that for you to play?
Yeah, I think it's all a challenge, and that's kind of why we love making the show so much, is that there's nothing simple about it.
No.
There's nothing simple about the experience of watching it, but also making it. Everything about it is a challenge, and even on days when we think there's going to be an easy, straightforward scene to shoot, once we're there and actually doing it, it's like, oh no, there's like 9 things going on, and it's complicated. But that's what's so interesting and fun about making it.
Yeah.
And both Britt and Adam their characters are severed in the show. So they play their innie and their outie.
Yeah.
So you play 2 different versions of the same person.
Right, exactly. And then Tramell is the office manager, works for the main office manager in the first season, and he's kind of in charge of everybody, and we don't quite know how we feel about him.
Milkshake, I think, is the one who's changed the most from the beginning to where we get to where there's am I allowed to say?
No.
But he does some serious moves.
Oh, no, you can say that he's amazing dancing. No.
No. Good save. I tell you what we'll do. Well,
all these notes for nothing. No.
Can we talk about
the first season?
Yes,
but we can't talk about the...
Yeah.
I mean, you know...
I mean, that's amazing. You can continue doing that.
You
should keep talking about that.
I want to see Melchick's, though. Melchick's hips, they don't lie.
They don't
lie. He is a very debonair, flamboyant... Like, I think the evolution of him into series 2... I mean, he's become a sort of a bit of a sex symbol as well, hasn't he? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have got a real sort of thing for him.
They're living for the short sleeve.
They're living
the leather jacket, the moustache.
I felt like I should have a roll neck on today in honour of his style.
Yeah.
And is it true that the moustache that you portray, that you cultivate, takes 45 minutes? Because I think there's something really meticulous about everything to do with the show.
100%.
And the way you look and all of those things feels like it's so detailed.
Yes. I mean, so many people on this show are so invested in it, you know, the cast and the crew. And I have a wonderful design team who work meticulously to build this mustache, right? And so because I'm a hairy guy, I give them hell because the hair just keeps growing and hour by hour. So they're chipping away to make sure that it's
constantly cultivating. Constantly, like the goats. That's why you've got the goats to cultivate them.
Just to trim the moustache?
Yes.
Yeah.
The goats and the mustaches are connected. Spoiler.
And Britt, what about your character too? Because
Which one?
Well, yes, exactly. Because Helly is somehow in the company as well. Is she going to kind of blow the whistle on it?
Oh, look, a bird.
Oh, no.
Rather than give that away,
no.
can you talk? Can I think I'm right in saying? I'm right. Yes, behave. The exec's there. He's going to direct her. When you're doing the two different characters you play, the in and the outie, is it true that you sort of listen to different music to try and get into a slightly different frame of mind about how you approach it?
I do. I was really inspired by Patti Smith in particular when I was developing Helly R season 1, and I listened to a lot of the songs from Horses, her album that she's touring with right now. For the other part of my character, more sweeping orchestral music.
And that allows you to sort of remember what their motivation is and what they're trying to do there.
Yeah, it just like clicks in my head. It sounds a little bit different for either side.
There's something extraordinary about, like you said, it felt like a play. I can't imagine what the pitch for this would have been like, because I devour it, I want to watch it, I want to talk to people about it, but I can't really explain it. So how does someone put that on a page that makes you go, oh, this would be great?
Well, I read this script that was sent to our production company as a spec script, sort of like as a sample from Dan Erickson, who wrote it. And he was working for DoorDash or something at the time. He hadn't had anything produced, and we read it and thought it was amazing. So the script sort of spoke for itself in terms of the setup of what it was, which was the pilot episode. And the idea of this sort of sci-fi-ish kind of weird reality, but yet grounded in these sort of funny work relationships, this workplace comedy thing. And that sort of combo was, I think, really what sort of was the original pitch of it. And, obviously there's a lot of unanswered questions and stuff, but it's sort of developed into these relationships on the show that people get invested in. But there's also the weirdness of it, too.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of white hallways.
Yes.
And, just sort of these sort of liminal spaces that people are sort of trapped in.
Well, that's one of the things about it. Stylistically, it's so amazing to watch and looks like nothing else I've ever seen.
And lots of running.
Running down the corridors. That you had like a computer camera that you had to program to follow.
We had all kinds of things.
Yeah, that particular scene, we use something called the bolt arm, which is sort of a robotic arm that's, programmed and can repeat moves. And Adam it's very dangerous. Adam was, doing these shots, and once it's programmed, it can't be stopped.
Oh, wow.
So you have to, make sure that you know exactly what you're doing with it.
It's fine because I am a man of danger.
Yes.
It's very much in your wheelhouse.
Also, you're kind of like a robot actor.
I am kind of like a robot.
Yeah, he's so good. He's so precise.
Are you paid danger money? Because wasn't there also a fight scene in one of the corridors and you got smashed into the wall?
Yeah.
For real?
It was my fault, which
Is that an insurance thing you have to say that?
Where there's a claim, there's a blame.
I just can't let the sweet actor Dari that I was doing the fight with take any blame for it. It was my fault. But my head got slammed into a wall.
It was a concussion.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it was we used it in the show.
It was the
It's a bit like a bit of Severance. Yeah.
Ben came up to me right after it happened, and he's like, I'm glad you're okay, but just so you know, it looked great.
Worth it. Totally worth
That's
it.
commitment to the role.
Yeah.
How do you feel about not being in it, though, Ben? You're directing it, you're producing it, but is there elements of you that are thinking, God, I'd be itching to play one of these characters?
I am incredibly happy not to be in it. I am so happy to not have to worry about, being in front of the camera with this, because I think we have the most incredible cast, and I feel it's so well cast. And for me, as a producer and a director on the show, I'm just I have my hands full doing that. I love doing that. And, I don't have to shave every day when I go to work. It's great.
But we think Ben should play a role in season 3.
Well, he played the robot, though, didn't you? The robot that comes out.
Mark Geller did the voice of that, which we won't even say where that is or when that happens, right? If there even is a robot. I did do the remote control. I worked it on the remote control, and I did do one voice in the first season on just on the video screen.
But season 3, though,
Yeah.
we can talk season 3. Do you guys know? Well, Britt, have you got any idea what's happening in season 3 yet?
Oh, look, a bird.
A lot of birds in here.
There it is.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. So it took quite a long time, by the way. You kept us waiting between
Yeah,
seasons
you
1 and
did.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic, writer's strike.
I'm assuming you're not going to tell us anything, but can you tell us how long we're going to have to wait?
I can't tell you anything. And I would love to tell you how long you have to wait, but the goal is definitely not to wait 3 years between 2 and 3.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. We want to get it out as fast as possible, and we're in that process.
But Adam, you've got teenagers who now think you're cool because they've seen this, right?
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
You're
Maybe
fair
on the
Adjacent to
verge.
cool.
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
to middling. So have you had to keep stuff from them? Like if you take phone calls or you do anything like that, do you have to keep?
Yeah, we have, Ben and Dan and I are on Zoom sometimes, and in my house, my wife and kids actually care. They don't want to know stuff, so I have to do these Zooms in my closet.
Amazing.
Otherwise,
really?
the information leaks out. Yeah.
They'll be furious if you get it
Yeah.
out. I think but that's the thing, though, that fans become so fervent
they
about
do.
it.
Yeah.
That fan reaction, like the viral videos that have gone.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. I mean, I've never had the experience where you put so much work into something, and the reaction coming back, the people are as invested as we've been in making it. That's incredible.
So we had, you've seen this one, I think, which is where the guy puts
Yes.
the lyrics to the music. I mean, you've not seen this, Britt.
Doesn't even say Ben Stiller. You don't even know he directed this.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is an extraordinary sort of impact, isn't it?
It's incredible, and like I said, everybody's so invested in it. And then the edits that they do,
Yes.
and these art
Yeah.
projects, and
A lot of paintings and drawings.
Yes.
It's
yeah,
amazing.
and the
All the fan
attention
art
that
is
they
amazing.
pay to every single detail in the show. It's just wonderful because we know that everything that we're putting out there is going to, somehow pay off for the audience too. So.
I mean, I'm used to doing stuff and it just disappearing. Like, it's amazing having people actually pay attention to it.
You can't, mate. You can't leave it 3 years. 'Cause I'm just trying to imagine
No.
how big Tramell's beard will be in 3 years' time. The moustache is going to need some
It'll
serious,
take some grooming. Some
cultivating.
goat grooming.
Thank you all for
Thank you.
popping in and seeing
Yeah,
this.
great talking to you.
Can't wait
Thanks
to
for
see.
doing the research.
Yeah.
And not being able to talk about any of it.
Yeah, that was really worth it.
Both seasons of Severance are available now on Apple TV. Thank you for
Right, we're
visiting
gonna-
our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.